This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, I hope everyone can hear me. We're starting the City of Easley Council meeting on the web, recorded to be put on our Facebook page probably tonight. It's April 13th, 7 p.m. And to start with, I would like to call the roll. And if you would, speak your name as I call so that with this will be recorded, and those that possibly are on there now that can't see you will know who you are. Ward 1.
Brian Garrison, Ward 1.
Ward 2. Ward 2, you're muted.
Forgive me. Kent Dykes in Ward 2.
Ward 3.
Pat Webb, Ward 3, present.
Ward 4.
Terry Moore, Ward 4.
Ward 5.
Nancy Brazil, Ward 5.
Ward 6. Recall Ward 6. Stephen, is Ward 6 on?
Hello,
Oh, there's Ward 6.
maybe.
Can you give your name and your ward, please?
This is Jim Robinson, Ward 6, present.
Thank you so much. Good to hear
Yes,
from
sir.
you. I'd like to at this time to ask Mr. Garrison if he would give us a prayer. I know we all prayed a little bit last night to get through our hard night, so this will be a good one to thank the Lord. Thank y'all.
Let's bow our heads. Dear good and gracious God, we thank you for all the blessings you have bestowed on us. During this uncertain time, help us to look to you for guidance and comfort. We bless those on the front lines fighting this disease and those affected by the storms last night. Now lead, guide, and direct us as we conduct our beautiful city's business, and help us to do that which is pleasing in your eyes. In your holy name we pray. Amen.
Thank you. At this time, I would call on Mr. Kent Dykes to do the Pledge of Allegiance. If everyone would just step away from your screen to stand up, and we will salute the flag.
And if you will join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much for that. I'd like to do one thing prior to going to the approval minutes. Just want to let everyone know that I did give a proclamation today. This week is National 911 Telecommunicators Week. And what we normally do each year, we have done this for the last 5-6 years, is we try our best throughout the county to feed all of our communication staff, the sheriff's office, Easley PD in those areas. This year it's a little bit more difficult, so we did still buy them a gift from the Pickens County Fire Chiefs Association, and also from the city. We've given them some trinkets. So I just want y'all to know that, so that anybody that sees or is able to talk to one of our folks that work in that dispatch area, that you can tell them thank you, because it's a tireless job. You can imagine last night what they went through with the calls that were coming in from all the folks needing help. I listened to it. I started about 3:30 listening to it, and it was pretty amazing. Yeah. Do want to call on you now to ask you about the minutes. Has everyone received your minutes? If you have not, please let me know. We have 4 sets of minutes to approve tonight. Those are March 9th work session, March 9th regular meeting, March 18th special call meeting, April 9th special call meeting. If no one has the objection, we will rule those approved.
They're fine.
Okay, thank you. Now I'd like to call on council members for a report from your ward, Ward 1.
Yes, sir, Mayor, City Council. I'm sure everyone is going to have basically the same thing to say, but after last night, I just want to say a special thank you to our Public Works, our Fire Department, our Police Department, Combined Utilities, individuals who help pitch in and help clean up. It could have been much, much worse, as we know, and we were fortunate and lucky, much more so than other areas. But I do applaud each and every person out there for their help. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ward 2.
Well, I agree with you, Mr. Garrison. The city and the combined utilities, they all worked together and they pitched in to solve a very big problem that we had with the tornado. Let me talk about the unprecedented times of the coronavirus that we're going through right now. All of our routines have been drastically changed, and I know mine has significantly, but I just want to share with all of y'all what I've been doing to suggest things that can be done during these unprecedented times. But read a book that you've been putting off for so long, and this is a good time to do it. This is a good time to do your spring cleaning, both in your house and also in your yard. Call and write some of your old friends and your relatives that you haven't spoke to in a while, and check on them and see how everybody's doing throughout the country. This is a good time for that. You got to maintain your exercise. We may be talking about the doodle trail, but you can do exercise without the doodle trail. You can walk around your neighborhood. I do this, or walk around the sidewalks in your area and practice your social distancing while you're doing it. And especially during these times, let's check on our elderly friends and relatives and in the community and make sure that they're all right. This is we got to keep up with our elderly and make sure that everything's all right. Thank you.
Thank you. Ward 3.
Yes, sir. Again, have to thank everybody who's come out at a moment's notice for all the cleanup and all the damage that has been done to our streets, sidewalks, houses. Our guys in Public Works and the combined utilities, everybody has pulled together and done a wonderful job. And that's what community spirit is all about. As Mr. Dykes said, let's check on our elders. My husband and I do Meals on Wheels. We've been able, thank goodness, to connect with all of the people on our route to make sure that they're well and make sure that they didn't get damaged by the storm. Exercise is really important. You can get cabin fever during all of this, so don't hesitate to get out. The dog will love it if you walk your dog. The children will like it if you walk with them. And we can get through this. This is just one more thing that we can handle, and we've got the community spirit to do it. Thank you.
Thank you. Ward 4.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor. The people of Easley has really jumped out there and done their part, and Lord knows how good the city workers have done their part. But we're forgetting the virus too, and what the United States is going through and around the world. Only the Lord Jesus can take care of this virus. Nobody knows anything about it. We've fought it in every way we can fight it. They seem to be getting to the curve. From my understanding, they're going to open things back up the 27th of this month. So let's, everybody, as I said, let's hold on, stay home. And as Mr. Dyke said, I have cleaned the house till I've about rubbed the polish off my furniture. I've cleaned it so much. I've worked in the yard, it's spotless, but that's a good thing to keep you occupied. And God bless every one of you doing what you're doing for the city of Easley. We really appreciate it.
Thank you. Ward 5.
Yes, I'm just going to piggyback off everyone else. We thank the city of Easley, everyone that has participated and came in and really put forth the effort to help everyone out, because it means a lot. It shows that we are united and that we can continue to be united. Even though we're going through this virus, we know that in the end, we're going to be victorious. And we thank God for being in the midst, and we know that He will continue to be in the midst. And we appreciate everything that everyone in the city of Easley is doing to participate with each other and help each other out and show that we are the city of Easley, our family. Thank you.
Thank you. Ward 6. Ward 6.
Okay.
We got you. Try it now.
Got me? Okay. As usual, I say amen to all of the above. Last night was a very scary night. Melissa and I received a warning at 3:24 a.m. that there might be a tornado here headed our way. So we moved into the basement for about an hour until it passed. But it was a very scary experience, and glad that we all made it through. On a more specific, mundane level, we had an issue in my neighborhood with some paving recently where some gutters along the street, or curbing along the street, needed to be repaired. And Eddie Fortner took care of that recently, and wanted to say thank you to Eddie for taking care of that. That's all from Ward 6.
Okay. Thank you. Just a footnote of what did start last night in the storm. Just to give an example of how bad some of the areas were, I listened to the fire department go to a call at Whispering Pines to a tree on a house. And a little over an hour later, they made it to that house. It took them that long to cut the trees out of the way to get there. They tried 2 different routes, and that's just how bad it was in town, especially on that side over there. It really was. And of course, I know y'all know about the one on South 8th Street. There's a story behind that one. Maybe we can get someone to share it to us one day that saved 2 people's lives in that house by what they did prior to the storm. So, call on the city administrator for a report.
Thank you, Mayor. So I'm going to talk a couple little things, and then I'm going to show some pictures from last night just to give some idea of some of the stuff the crews were working with today. The first thing is about the budget. The budget books for proposed fiscal year 2021 are in your boxes. You can pick them up whenever you get a chance to come up to City Hall and do so. If you do not feel comfortable heading out, I can send you a PDF We'll be putting that together to go on the website this week as well for the public, so I can email that once it's complete. The other next step with that is we'll need to schedule a couple of potential work session dates. I'll be sending out some proposed dates, hopefully this week, and hopefully we can do those virtually towards the end of this month and start getting the budget finalized for approval in June. So moving forward, just some pictures from this morning as we started to clear out. As you can see, most of the damage was caused by downed trees. The picture on the right is our dugouts at Woodside Mill Park. It blew the roof off and separated the brick. Couple houses that had trees fall on over in the Woodside Mill community, and then trees down. This was kind of the theme throughout the letter and number streets through the town, going all the way over to the old Gettys Middle School through Southway and near East End, all the way over, like the mayor said, west through Woodside Mill, through Haygood Park, and out towards Whispering Pines into the county. So I will say that for the most part, most of the city streets, the trees have been removed. The slowdown in getting them removed is getting the power cut off associated with the lines. The last one, I think they were on Southway and South 2nd Street, I believe it was, over near East End that way. The only one they had left was on South 9th Street, and it still had active power on it this afternoon about 3 o'clock. So they're hopefully going to get over there and get that one tonight and be able to have at least the roadways cleared from the trees that were down by the end of the day. That's all I have for my report.
Okay. Thank you. And I just got a message that just during the storm, the fire department responded to 32 calls for service, and that's not the amount of calls, of course, the police department went on or the public works went on, because they all work together to get the streets open back up. That's our main thoughts is to get the streets open back up where emergency vehicles can respond again. Thank you.
Mayor.
Yes,
Mayor,
sir.
I did also want to say that the Weather Service did confirm that there was a touchdown of a tornado in Easley this afternoon. They're trying to identify the classification, but the one that was north of us towards Pumpkin Town was an EF2 on a scale of 0 to 5. They're looking, I think the number I've seen for us is a 0 or a 1. They're just trying to determine the wind speeds.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. And the only comments that we have, or that I know of, and I'll ask Stephen to answer this if I'm wrong, is I think we all received an email from someone concerned about the Smithfields Country Club opening up or open for business. And I will tell y'all that we have, but even before this email come in, our building official had visited them, our police chief has visited them and made sure that the restaurant is not open, the bar is not open, and no one is congregating inside. And they are obeying by the rules and allowing, I think it's 1 person per cart, and keeping social distancing there. So just in case, if you've got any questions about that, we'll be glad to answer that. But we addressed that actually prior to the email that came in. And I'll ask Stephen if there's any other complaints that have come in or comments come in since I left early this afternoon.
No, sir. The deadline for submitting was 6 p.m. and no other comments were forwarded from the clerk.
Okay, thank you. And I know you've had several comments about the Doodle Trail, and that was a connection between the city of Pickens and us. We did not just decide to do that. So for those of you, I know you've heard some complaints. We and if you'd have been here, you'd have probably seen, and I know you're not available to be here all the time, but you would have saw the complaints we were getting from people trying to get our folks back over there to do this and do that. And, you know, we're trying to keep them away from people. We're trying to keep people away from them. And so that was one of the very last things we did. was to close that. We did not want to, but we did because we needed those employees that normally take care of that trail in other areas of the city to help out, because we're trying to keep all the other emergency services going. We want to keep the garbage picked up. We want to keep the police going, the fire going. So the recreation department has chipped in and done a great job in helping us in other areas and not just their own. And so we utilize those employees other places. So, you know, just so you'll know, it's not just to close something down. We didn't do it just to make somebody mad. Pickens had the same concern. So together we made that decision. So I do want to thank y'all for your cooperation and help with that. I'll move to item number 9. It's unfinished business. Ordinance for second readings is ordinance number 202009, and that's to amend the 2019-2020 budget. Do I hear a motion?
I move that we adopt this amendment.
I have a motion by Mr. Kent Dykes. I have a second.
Second.
I think we had 2 people, Terry and Ms. Nancy. Terry, that's Terry Moore. Okay, that's fine. And I'll turn it over to Stephen.
So council approved this at first reading last month. This is to get the budget in line with the purchase of property on Esther Street next to fire station number 1 that council approved back in February for final purchase. We have closed on that property. This would just bring that line, and also some technology improvements that were done to be able to stream and upload these meetings when we are able to meet in person again. So this will make sure that the budget reflects the actual expenditures that were made.
Any questions?
I'll call the question, Mayor.
Okay. Mr. Brian Garrison calls for the question. We'll call the roll for your vote, please. Ward 1.
Yay.
Ward 2.
Yay.
Ward 3.
Yay.
Ward 4.
Yay.
Ward 5.
Yay.
Ward 6. Ward 6.
Yes. What do I have to do to be able to say something in this meeting?
You should have an icon at the top of your screen that looks like a little microphone.
Yes, sir.
If you touch it, it should turn your mic on and off.
All right. It is green now. I'm going to touch it.
That's right. You good? Okay. Okay.
All right. So I touched it and it was red. Does that mean you couldn't hear what I said?
That is correct.
Am I talking too loudly?
You're talking just fine.
All right. So I'd like to say something about what was said earlier, because I couldn't make this darn thing work. But as far as closing the Doodle Trail and other things, those are difficult decisions. We all find ourselves in uncharted territory. These are unprecedented conditions and situations, and we're all trying to do the very best we can for our community. And Mayor Womack and others, if you think that the Doodle Trail needs to be closed to protect our citizens, then I might not like it, but I'll support you. We can have a debate and discussion for the rest of our lives about whether or not the government should tell a business to close their doors. And we might have those discussions, but we're not going to do that tonight. Thank you. I will unmute myself or mute myself.
Well,
Thank
well
you.
stated, Mr. Robinson. Well stated.
That's right. Thank you so much. Item B, which is ordinance number 2020-10. That's authorizing the sale of a property to Pumpkin Town Fire Department for $1. Do I hear a motion? Mr. Moore?
Motion, please.
Motion, do I hear a second? Ms. Pat?
I second that.
Okay. Any discussion?
No further discussion from Ward 6.
Can Stephen just give a brief overview of where this originated and last
Yes, sir.
month's first reading, please?
Yes, sir. Thank you. So Mayor and Council, again, where this originated from is that this current budget year, Council approved the purchase of a 2020 fire engine that we purchased from KME. It's put into service in February of this year. The oldest service truck that we had that was a 1990 American Fire Spartan fire engine that got pushed out of service that we would have disposed of either through sale or transferring to another department. Pumpkin Town Fire Department expressed interest in using the engine to Mayor Womack. So Mayor Womack and the fire chief for Pumpkin Town had discussion. What they agreed to was that the city would sell the engine to Pumpkin Town for $1. Pumpkin Town would work to ensure, maintenance it, and place it into service throughout the life that they use it for. However, should they decide to no longer use it, it would come back to the city for first right of refusal to accept the vehicle back so that we could dispose of it at that time. This has to be done by ordinance because it is a sale purchase, or transfer of property. The first reading was approved in March, so the second reading would be tonight. Once it's approved, we would work with them to get the title transferred over and get the agreement signed that was attached to first reading of the ordinance last month, outlining the terms and conditions.
Any more
Call for
questions?
question?
Call for a question.
Yes, call for the question.
Call roll. Ward 1,
Yay.
Ward 2,
Yay.
Ward 3,
Yay.
Ward 4,
Yay.
Ward 5,
Yay.
Ward 6.
Yes.
We got this. And the ordinance passes. Thank y'all so much.
Mayor,
Yes.
you need to record your vote as well.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry. Mayor, yay.
And I do not know if you recorded your vote on the last ordinance as well.
I don't think I did, yeah. Is Brian on? What would we need to do?
Let's just make a motion to amend that vote and you vote.
Okay.
Okay, so I'll make a motion to amend ordinance number 2020-09 to include the mayor's vote.
I second it.
that.
Kent second. Pat was going to, so Kent got it, I think, first. Yeah, thank you. All right. And I will vote on that ordinance also, yes. Thank you. Item 10, new business. There are no first readings tonight.
Mayor,
Yes,
you
sir.
still did not record your vote for this current ordinance. You just amended the last one. You need to vote on this current one.
I thought I've already did that.
For the fire engine.
I'm sorry. On this ordinance, which is ordinance number 2020-10, I vote yes.
Thank you. Sorry.
I thought I did the last one there.
Since it was amended, do we all have to vote again?
No, I don't think so.
Item 11, which is a resolution that I mistakenly did not get a motion on last month, is resolution 2020-03, and I will turn that over to Stephen to explain.
Prior to that, I will make a motion to bring to the floor for discussion.
Second.
Second. Thank you.
So as we stated last month, this is for safe working environment resolution. The city of Easley does endorse a safe working environment, and we have safe working safety manuals and everything that we go over with employees that we update and we do training on continuously. The reason we adopt this resolution is it is part of our insurance coverage through the Municipal Association of South Carolina with Smith and Smurf, who does our property, workers' comp, and general liability coverage, that we adopt this annually. And we normally do this first part of the year. So as the mayor stated, we had it on the agenda last month, but we missed the motion to approve. So it's back on for this month to finalize.
I understand the resolution and I call for the question.
Okay, call for the question. I'll take a roll call. Ward 1.
Yay.
Ward 2.
Yay.
Ward 3.
Yay.
Ward 4.
Yay.
Ward 5.
Yay.
Ward 6.
So is this like Jeopardy? Whoever pushes the buzzer first gets to go first?
That's right.
So I vote yes on the resolution.
And the mayor votes yes. Item B, resolution number 2020-04 to designate April as Fair Housing Month in the city of Easley. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Garrison
Second.
and Terry Moore second. Discussion?
So this is another ordinance that, or excuse me, another resolution that the city adopts every April. We do this as part of our ability to apply for CDBG and home grants through the state and federal government. However, it is something that the city takes very seriously. The city of Easley does desire that all citizens be afforded the opportunity to attain decent, safe, and a sound living environment. The city also rejects discrimination on the basis of race, religion, sex, national origin, disability, or familial status related to housing services. The state of South Carolina did enact the South Carolina Fair Housing Law in 1989. And again, April is usually designated nationally as the Fair Housing Month, which is why we do it every April. One of the things we do have to comply with to continue to apply for CDBG, like I said, is to designate April as Fair Housing Month. And we also have to run public service announcements, which we do on the radio through iHeartMedia, which is My 102.5 98.9, and I think Whistle 100. And we run those advertisements through there as well to support fair housing. And that I can answer any questions if council has any.
I see none, so I'll call the question. Sorry, Terry.
It's all right. Call for the question. I'll call roll call. Ward 1,
Yay.
Ward 2,
Yay.
Ward 3,
Yay.
Ward 4,
Yay.
Ward 5,
Yay.
Ward 6,
Yes.
and the mayor, yes. Item C, resolution number 2020-05, and I will let, and after I have a motion, I will let Stephen explain this one to you.
Motion to bring it to the floor.
Motion, Terry Moore.
Second it.
Who seconded it?
I did.
Ms.
Nancy.
Nancy seconded. I'll turn it over to Stephen to discuss.
So it's going to talk about two things as it lists on the first slide here. We're going to talk about a leaf vacuum truck and a brush truck with a boom for the reimbursement resolution. First of all, a reimbursement resolution has to be adopted by council if they want to finance equipment or capital improvements. Normally when we do equipment, it's a lease purchase that we do through a bank. The leaf vacuum truck was actually approved by council last fiscal year. We received the leaf truck this year. It ended up, we ran through several attempts of the company trying to fix it through warranty issues. They weren't able to do so. So in January, we returned the truck to the company that built it and that we purchased it from, and did not pay them anything for that vehicle. That means that we need to find a replacement for it. What has been proposed by Public Works is to purchase a new leaf truck this fiscal year. The one that they have identified is about $210,000 in cost that would be lease purchased. This is a different make and model than the one we returned. It's also a different make and model than the previous one that we purchased about 3-4 years ago that's running well now. It's just the company that we bought the previous one from sold and no longer makes them anymore. It goes through a different company, which is the one we bought the last one from, which gave us trouble. So we don't want to go back to them. So we have identified a different company that seems to have a model that will accommodate what we need. The other item that is in there is a new brush truck. I'm going to show you, I'll go through the brush trucks here in a second, but we have located one that is available. It's actually made by New Life, which is here in Easley, and it's sitting on a floor and, well, not a floor, on the lot in a distributor in Charlotte that we can get a hold of. This is the same make and model as one we purchased 3 years ago that is running well. The difference is it has a single operator system in it. So you go from needing 2 people to operate it to 1, which would reduce 1 person that we need on the route picking up within that truck. So the brush truck that has been identified is through Spartan, and this is a picture of it off of its demo off of the website. It is a single person operated vacuum truck. It does pick up leaves. We are working, they're supposed to hopefully deliver it to us in a couple of weeks so we can test it. We will test it on grass clippings to see if it does any better than the current one that we have. We have, these are not designed to pick up grass clippings, which is one of the reasons why it struggles with containing them within the filters, because it's made to pick up leaves and mulch them so that they can be disposed of. a lot of the grass clippings that we pick up when they dry are too fine for the filters to stop, which is why they blow out sometimes within the roadway. So these are our knuckle boom trucks. The one that you see on the left is a 2001. The one on the right is a 2004 with a trailer. Neither one of these are currently in working operation. I will tell you that we started the fiscal year out with 4 boom trucks that were in operation. We're down to 1.5 right now. What you'll see here is we're at a cost benefit ratio where we're trying to decide whether, say, for example, a 2001 Freightliner is worth spending $17,000 to $20,000 to repair 2 cracks that have shown up in the frame where it has outriggers so that it can operate to pick up heavy brush. Right now it cannot operate because it can't support itself to counterbalance the weight for operating the boom. So when you talk about a truck that's 20 years old, putting $17,000 to $20,000 in to repair it, we don't know how much of a life we're going to get out of that investment. Truck 63 is a 2004. It is currently not running. We have not really made any repairs to get it up and running because we had 3 that were operating. Right now they're looking to see what it would get up and running. They don't have that cost estimate right yet, but it is, as you can see, it has a pull behind trailer and it is significantly longer than the other one, so it won't actually even fit in the mill villages to run. Truck 80 is a 2007, so it's pushing 14, 15 years old now. Right now it is working on 5 out of 6 cylinders. One of them has an issue where it causes it to smoke, so they've been able to turn that 6th cylinder off. We need to replace the engine in it to make it completely functional, which would cost about $32,000 to replace. And again, you're talking about investing $32,000 in a truck that's pushing 15 years old. The one on the right is our newest one, we purchased in 2017. Runs well. It's the same make and model as what we would be proposing to council to lease purchase. Like I said, the only difference is it's a newer version that we would be looking at, and it would be a single operator, which requires 2 people to operate it. So what we're asking council for tonight is, in order to finance, we have to do a reimbursement resolution, which means that once council purchases it, it gives us the ability to finance it and reimburse ourselves that cost down the line. Gives us 6 months to do so and allows us a small look back on anything that we purchase. We wanted to bring this to council tonight so we could, A, get it, if council is willing to approve the purchase of these trucks, that we can have everything lined up to do the financing, and B, to have the conversation with council about purchasing more so the brush truck, since it is not in this year's budget, but it is proposed in the budget that is council will receive for fiscal year 2021. So we would actually just be moving on in a little early based on the fact that we are down several of our brush trucks, only have one really fully functioning, and we need to get it sooner rather than later. So I can answer any questions that council may have. I know that's a lot of information, but we hope that the vacuum truck, that we can get it down here in 2 to 3 weeks. The knuckle boom, should council move forward with allowing us to lease purchase it, we can probably get it down and in service in a couple to 3 weeks as well.
So. Mr. Moore.
If we do purchase these, what can we do with these old trucks? Apparently they're no good. Can we sell them for anything at all? Any value?
So actually what we can do, once we have our new operations and maintenance facility constructed, our shop will be able to handle moving engines around. And what the goal would be is we would take one of the older engines that's in better shape and put it in one of the trucks, put it in the truck 80 here that's missing, that's not working, we've got one that has a good body, bad engine, one that has a good engine and a bad body. So we actually our mechanics would be able to move the engine out of the other one and put it in truck 80 and make it available for backup. So the other ones we would sell. These right here, we would look to try to get one more good working truck out of us. But we would not be able to complete that until we have our new shop at the operations and maintenance facility.
Thank you.
If you'll remember, oh, Brian, go ahead, Brian.
Yeah, so Stephen, the new vacuum / brush truck, we know we have an issue with picking up grass clippings. So we're not definite on whether or not this particular truck that we would receive in a couple of weeks will solve that issue until we get it and try it. Is that correct? Did I hear that correctly?
Yes, sir, that's correct. They have told us that it has some sort of wetting system inside of it, like a misting system that is supposed to mist it when it comes in to keep it from dusting. But we won't know that until we get it in and run it. It's really the Bermuda grass that's so fine when it dries out. We'll have to try it on that to see how it goes.
Okay, hopefully this is not going to be the case, but in anticipation, if we find it does not work like we'd like to see it work, what are our secondary plans moving forward?
But right now, we have been unable to find a vacuum truck that can guarantee to us that it can pick up grass without throwing it out through the filters. We're still trying to find anything that's capable of that. The options that would go with that we're looking at are to continue the service as is and try to better accommodate some of the grass clipping that we struggle with, but it's been this way with every vacuum truck we've had over the last few years. The other option for council would be if we want to continue to pick up grass clippings, or if we just want to stop providing that service if it continues to create that much of a conflict or issue throughout the city.
The one other option, and I think we talked about this, is we could get folks to bag them, but that's not going to be very much fun for anybody. And then Stephen might want to talk about that a little bit. It's when you bag them, you're still putting them in the landfill. So
yeah, it kind of defeats the purpose of taking the leaves and the grass clippings so that they can mulch and break back down, biodegrade. If you put it inside of a bag, then it becomes a non-biodegradable product that you're putting into the landfill that just takes up space.
Yes, I totally agree with you. And with those options on the grass clippings is a big controversy, and it's a subject for another. It's not regarding these things, but for another meeting altogether. But we should consider, get input as we can from the citizens, and see what the advantages of just taking your grass and just keep mulching it and just mulching it back into your yard. That's the most environmentally friendly thing that we can do.
yes, sir. It is. Yes, sir, Brian.
Sorry, one other question. Stephen, the $210,000 we're speaking of, what's the financial breakdown on that? The difference in the first truck we ordered a year and a half ago that came and was not suitable, and then the cost for the one we found since?
The one that we ordered previously before taxes was around 186. So after taxes and closing, it would have been probably about 190, low 190s. This one with closing and everything it will be around about 210. So this one's about $15,000 to $20,000 more after you consider all cost.
There's no other question. I'll call for the question.
All right, we'll have a call for the question. Time to vote. Ward 1,
Yay.
Ward 2,
Yay.
Ward 3,
Yay.
Ward 4,
Yay.
Ward 5,
Yes.
Ward 6,
Yes.
and the mayor's yes. Thank you. D is a resolution number 2020-06, and I'll ask for a motion for this so that we can let Stephen explain it to us. Terry Moore, make a motion.
Motion to bring it to table for discussion.
Second. Pat, second. Thank you.
I second.
Second. And I'll leave it up to Stephen now to do some discussion. And Tommy, if he's on the phone and still wants to call in, that's fine too. I think Stephen, might have had something to say.
I think Tommy's on here as well. I'll give him a chance to talk after I give a little update. So we kind of talked about this the last work session that council had. This is the property on not on the slide. There we go. This is a property on Pearson Road. It is identified by the one that says development property. It's about 70 acres that was brought to us for council to annex, and it has been annexed and zoned as R7.5. They have reached out to us about doing an exchange of property. We own these two properties in green. The one on the right side is actually a piece of property that fronts on Brookview Circle. The other one is our right-of-way that is at the end of Walnut Hill Drive. They have asked for us to abandon the right-of-way to them and to quit claim the property. And what they have proposed in turn is to potentially survey plat and deed to the city property along their property line that could be used by the city to extend the Brushy Creek Greenway. The reason it kind of looks a little weird in shape is because there's a floodplain that follows the Brushy Creek. So we need to make sure we leave ourselves enough room outside of the floodplain to potentially build the trail system. And it would also allow us to connect on the Lakeshore Drive, and would also allow us to continue on to the other property that fronts on Walnut Hill Drive that we've talked to the property owners that they're looking to develop as well. So this would continue the trail and also allow us to make some connections in the future to some of the neighborhoods along the trail so they could then tie into it without having to drive and park to be able to use the trail. Their goal in our property is the one on Brookview Circle. They need to get across it to make their sewer connection. They've worked that out with easily combined utilities to get there. And so they've asked us to trade properties with them so that they can have that to build any infrastructure they may need to handle that, whether it's a road access so that they can get to it to maintain that sewer easement. We also talked to the property owner who owns the property next to our right-of-way on the other side, on the north side, and they were fine with us deeding that right-of-way. They had no potential need of that right-of-way for their future development. Go back and make sure I hit on all the points. So the two properties we're talking about, one would be about 2.64 acres is the one on Brookview Circle. The right-of-way is about 600 feet by 30 feet. And then they would deed to us plus or minus 9 acres of their property so that we could extend the trail system in the future. With this being a letter of intent, it's pretty much just us agreeing that our intent is to finalize all of this in the near future. I believe what's outlined in there is to try to get it complete by July. They were wanting to close and move forward on the property by the end of this month. Something from the city outlining that we were in agreement to work towards this exchange of property. This would outline that, and we'll still have to bring everything back to council by our ordinance to either accept property to deed property over to quit claim property. All of that will have to be done with 2 readings by council.
Pat would like to say something, I think. Pat.
If you don't mind, I would. I'm much in favor of seeing us preserve any of the floodplain areas from development. We've already shown how many homes have been damaged in the last storm event, and any future homes that we can prevent from being put into these hazardous areas, I'm in favor of. I just wanted to express that. Thank you.
And I don't remember if Stephen mentioned it, but the property that we do own there that the gentleman's wanting is not buildable. It's not something that can be used.
Correct. With the floodplain that sits on Brushy Creek Greenway, about 3/4 of the property sits in that floodplain. And then the part that runs along Brookview Circle actually has the sewer line running across it that would not be able to be buildable as well.
Does Tommy want to say anything? I'm sorry, Terry.
Question, where we come on up through there with the trail, could we get completely out of that flood zone and it would be safe instead of being washed away every time a flood comes?
Yes, sir. With what is proposed here, that would give us enough room to be able to be 20 to 30 feet outside of any floodplain to make sure that anything that we built would, or even further, to make sure that anything that we built would be out of the floodplain, so we don't have to deal with the same complications we're dealing with on the other side of Pearson Road, where we're having to build raised piles to be able to meet compliance. We would be able to build this hopefully more like Nally Brown Nature Trail, where we could do some natural trails that would self-drain into the creek and operate more efficiently than what it would be if we had to put it in the floodplain. So the goal would be not to put anything in the floodplain, and the amount of property they're looking to give us would make sure that we would not have to.
Okay. Anyone else? Kent?
I'd seen a letter that you had attached to this, and it referred to this as the Doodle Trail. Is this really the intent is the Doodle Trail, or is it just a trail, the Greenway Trail?
For now, it's just a Greenway Trail. It would probably be more of a connection with the Brushy Creek Trail than it would be the Doodle Trail. That was just what they referred to it as an extension of, as they put the paper together. The one other thing I forgot to mention is, I believe, and if I'm incorrect here, Tommy can correct me, is I think they're looking at about 105 to 106 homes on this property that would then have access to tie into this trail as well once it's built in the future.
Okay, it'd be very good. Yeah, just got me a little confused when it referred to the Doodle Trail, which I couldn't see the logistics of how that would happen, but yeah, I'm in favor of this.
Okay. Anyone else? Or Tommy, or if you're on there, would you like to speak of it?
No, sir. Mr. Steese has pretty well hit every point. The staff has been working with him along with Mr. Steese, and we think it's going to be a asset.
Okay. Just one question, Stephen and Tom. The property there that going into Lakeshore, that's already a right of way now? Is that correct? For a roadway?
That's actually part of the property that they are purchasing from Reeves. We have a right of way that actually ties in to the other property that would be this potential for to be development on Walnut Hill Drive. But that's actually owned by Reeves, the Reeves that own all the other property right there.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Yes, sir. Brian Garrison.
I'll call the question, Mayor.
Call the question. Terry, did you want to say something? I'm sorry. Coughing. Okay. I'm We'll call the roll. Ward 1,
Yay.
Ward 2,
Yay.
Ward 3,
Yay.
Ward 4,
Yay.
Ward 5,
Yes.
Ward 6,
Yes.
and the mayor is yes. That's all we have on the agenda, and I will accept a motion to adjourn. Terry Moore,
Motion to adjourn.
second. Second by Pat.
Second.
Thank you. And please do not forget to turn your cameras off.
Good night.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Night, night.
Good night.
Good night. Well, that's Jim. Yeah. Pam, for the next meeting, you need to send your grandchild over to Jim Roberts.
She does make house calls.
God bless America.
Yeah.